Hey everyone, today is going to be my last video of the year, so I thought it would be fun to do a 2023 wrap up showcasing all my favourite pickups of the year. If you have watched my channel before, then apologies, you are going to see some pieces you've already seen because I am a huge outfit repeater. But there's also going to be one or two pieces you haven't seen yet, so stay tuned for those because I've got some absolute bangers. For reference, I'm 5'10", around 140 pounds, and I typically wear a 28 to 29 inch waist. And as usual, I'll leave links to everything I can down in the description box below in case you want to pick up some of these pieces for yourself. I think I'll start on feet and work my way up the body. There are so many shoes I could choose from this year because I went a little bit mad on footwear, to be honest. But when I think overall what my favourite was in terms of style, price and versatility, it has to be the Solitaire astronaut boots. To be honest, I haven't worn them as much as I'd like yet, and that's simply because I got the Dana Mountain Lights shortly after. And with the UK weather being so rainy and cold, the Danas are just much more suitable at the moment. However, the Solitaires are still probably my favourite of 2023. They replaced my Doc Martens 1460s, which I had for over 10 years. The silhouette is similar, but the Solitaires have a slightly narrower and slimmer toe box versus the 1460, which is a little bit more bulbous. I got them in the 11 eyelet version, so they're really tall and militant looking, and I picked them up for a bargain price from their outlet, which makes me like them even more. So check that out if you're in the market for them, or you can actually buy them new off Amazon now if you want. One thing that remains to be seen is how durable the high shine leather is. I've been told that as long as you look after them properly, they should last just as long as any other leather. I'll be wearing these a lot more as the weather gets warmer, so I'll keep you up to date on that. For pants, my favourite pickups of this year have been my vintage Levi's. I bought 3 pairs in 2023, with the latest ones being these 505s in a classic blue. I'm just going to lump these all together and call them my favourite pants of the year, because apart from the colour, they're all essentially the same. When I want a pair of regular straight fit jeans these days, I pretty much never buy new. I go straight to eBay, Vinted or Depop and look up vintage Levi's 501s or 505s. And by the way, the difference between the two, if you didn't know, the 505s have a slightly higher rise and also a zip front instead of a button front. One of the reasons these are my favourite pants are the price. Since they're second hand, this meant none of them cost more than £25. Prices can go a little crazy if you're looking for big E Levi's, but in general they're very fairly priced because there's so many of them around. Also, all the ones I bought were made in the USA, which is a rare thing to see these days, especially for such a fair price. It's a nice little memento to the heritage of Levi's. And you can actually tell the difference in quality versus the modern stuff which is made abroad. My biggest advice if you're looking for vintage Levi's is to size up. I usually wear a 28 or 29 inch waist, but with vintage Levi's I have to size up to a 31. This year I bought a lot of belts. I've really come to appreciate how much they can add to an outfit. You can go pretty crazy with the design and colour of your belt, and it's rarely too overbearing for the fit. My favourite pick of this year is an easy one. It's this belt from the brand Brighton. I'm fairly certain it's a women's belt, but I really don't care. I've wanted one of these Brighton belts for ages. They make really ornate belts in a sort of Western style, which I'm liking more and more these days. This one was listed as vintage, but I'm not sure if it actually is. It's made in the USA from genuine leather and cost me about 12 quid, from eBay of course. So I'm delighted. It's got this patterned metal buckle and a love heart locket hanging off it. It's also quite a thin belt with a sort of crocodile skin effect. It's just a really fun piece that can add character to an otherwise plain outfit. Without a doubt, my overall favourite pickups of this year have been my vintage t-shirts. This is actually my dirty little secret. I can't get enough of vintage tees. If you ever see me on my phone, it's usually because I'm scrolling through eBay looking for old, rare t-shirts. My best one has to be this insane Harley Davidson tee with the purple lightning detail. This might be one of the pickups of my life, let alone just 2023. I love the old Harley tees, so I'm always searching them up on eBay when I'm bored. And when I did a search recently, this showed up with about 5 minutes left on the auction, and only one other person had bidded on it. So I just put in a £25 bid and I actually won it. It wasn't until I received it that I found out it's on an old Hanes Beefy Made in USA tag, which is one of the greats. And looking around online, this seems to be going for £200 and up, so I really struck gold. The unfortunate thing is though, it's way too long on me. I'd usually crop it myself with scissors, but because it's quite valuable, I want to do it properly. So I'm either going to take it to a tailor, or I might properly hem it myself, as I've been thinking about learning how to sew. As I said, I bought loads of vintage tees this year, but another one I want to show you is this System of a Down tee. I love System, and Mesmerize is my favourite album, so when I found this for £10 on Depop, I snapped it up. It's a double-sided tour t-shirt, but it looks super bootleg to me due to the janky print. But that all adds to the charm. Just like the Harley tee, it has a beautiful fade to the fabric and the print. And I did crop this one myself because again, it was way too long. One of my biggest regrets was never buying merch when I used to watch bands as a kid. So I'm kind of making up for it now, purchasing them all, having a proper quarter-life crisis. One more t-shirt deserves an honourable mention, even though it's not vintage. It's this Korn tee from their collaboration with Adidas. This collab was such a nice surprise, and all the designs were so nice. I actually wanted the purple striped tee, but I completely messed up the pre-order. I didn't realise it was a raffle. So on the day of release, I went to purchase it and noticed it wasn't on the Adidas website. Apparently you had to sign up through their app and pre-order it if you won a raffle ticket. Luckily, End Clothing had some pieces, and my second favourite was this flame tee, so I went for it. It's oversized and again too long for me, so I may look to get this professionally hemmed. For jackets, there's two that I just absolutely could not choose between, so I'm going to talk about both of them. The first is going to be pretty obvious if you've watched my channel over the last few months, and it's the Aero Type 3 leather jacket. I did a dedicated video on this, so feel free to go and watch it if you want more detail. I only bought this jacket a few months ago, but it's easily my most worn jacket of the year. It just fits so perfectly and goes with everything in my wardrobe. It was also a bargain price. I paid around £500 as Aero leathers were having a sale. However, even at the full price of around £800, I can still easily recommend it. I've never had a horsehide jacket before, so I'm not sure what the overall break-in is going to be like. It's still pretty stiff at the moment, but I'm wearing it as much as possible and hoping to get it softened up a bit by next year. The second jacket I have to mention is the Sugarcane Type 2 denim jacket. This is a beautiful denim jacket and has become one of my favourites due to how unique it is. As much as I love Type 3s, the Type 2 just feels a bit more special to me. And the fact that it was made in Japan from selvage denim to the original 1950s Levi's design makes me like it even more. It has a lovely short length body due to the lack of hand warmer pockets as the original design intended. And it fits quite close to the body as well. I did pick it up second hand, so I'm not sure if it's been washed yet or not. So there's a chance it could shrink slightly, but I probably won't be washing it anytime soon anyway. It retails for around £200, but this cost me just 80 quid, which was a no-brainer and has become one of my favourites. Last up are going to be some caps which I definitely haven't shown off yet. I picked them up very recently, but they've quickly become some of my most worn pieces. The first is this vintage style Ford cap. I remember around 10 years ago seeing someone on Instagram wearing a simple Ford cap like this, and I've wanted one ever since. But we don't really get Ford merch in the UK, so I was never able to find one I liked. But recently I just went on Amazon and punched in Ford cap to see what would come up, and I saw this. It's imported from the USA, but because of Amazon's magic, it was free shipping. It's got a washed out navy front with the contrast white stitching, and then the mesh on the back is a sort of off-white beige. It's officially licensed and just a beautiful trucker cap. The other cap that I picked up, which I love, is this retro Oakley one. The old school Oakley font and logo is one of the nicest designs ever, and I wish they'd bring it back. I think this cap might have been blue at one point, but it's been washed so much it's turned into a grey, and the Oakley logo is purple. As you can see, it's got some nice distressing on it, which adds to the charm, just like my vintage tees. But yeah, there's nothing too special about it. It's just a nice simple cap that's unique and will go with pretty much any outfit. So there's my 2023 wrap up of my favorite pickups. I honestly could have added so many more pieces, but it probably would have ended up being about a 3-hour video. But anyway, I just want to thank you all so much for watching my channel this year. It's such a dream to be able to talk about my favorite topic with like-minded people. I hope you all had an amazing year, and I'll see you in 2024. Ta-ra.